Hello there, and welcome to the New York Comic Con Metaverse panel for Doctor Who. I'm Melanie McFarland, the TV critic for Salon.com and a huge Whovian from when I was a kid. And I am so delighted to be here with the stars of Doctor Who, starting with Jody Whittaker, 13, the Doctor herself. Hello, Jody. Nice to see
Hi,
you.
you too.
Also joining are the fabulous companions, Mandip Gill, Yaz, the formidable Yaz,
Hello.
and Bradley Walsh, the heart and soul Graham, and quite a goofball. So get ready, everybody. Let's get a quick reminder. We have this great recap video, so let's watch.
Something's coming for me. I can feel it.
Series 12 goes much deeper into the mythology of Doctor Who. It goes deeper into the history of it, brings back some classic monsters and some very familiar faces from the Doctor's past.
Hi.
You can't be.
Oh, I can be. I very much am.
What this season is about is the individual characters going on their own journey.
When does all this stop for you? The games, the betrayals, the killing.
This year, a lot of those stories have been about identity, what we mean by identity, what we think about identity in terms of ourselves and in terms of other people.
Whole existence of our species built on the lie of the timeless child.
What the Doctor discovers about herself is that it's possible she doesn't know the full story of her own life.
Hello, I'm the Doctor.
The Doctor goes on a huge journey through not just the future, but potentially through her own past as well. And I think it's something that we haven't seen before.
You always behaved like you were different, like you were special. And you were.
The original Timeless Child, which is the Doctor, is essentially the creator, or everyone is made from them. That is devastating to the Master because he essentially comes from her.
So much happened in the latest season. I mean, it was just a rip-roaring ride from start to finish. There was that lovely moment between you two and the finale that was just so beautiful.
I actually let Mandip drive that scene because it was all about Mandip and Yaz's scene. So for Mandip and Yaz to drive that scene, all you could do was react how Yaz had spoken in that scene. So Graham could only react to that, and it was a beautiful portrayal by Mandip. So basically, all I literally had to do was react to that. So, and I really enjoyed that. It was a fabulous scene. I loved it, every second of it.
And there was a lot that went down with the Doctor and the Master in the season 12 finale as well. And it makes me wonder, what do you think is going to happen? First of all, Sacha Dhawan was so amazing. And what was it like to work with him? I mean, you have so many people coming on this season who are big surprises. And I think he was the first. So let's talk about that. Like, what was that like?
It was brilliant for us because weirdly, with the show like this, you can't shoot it in story order because it's epic and we're limited sometimes to locations. So, but in that instance of the first episode of our second season, we shot all the bits with Sacha on side as and that kind of we kind of, I don't know, we were all lulled into it, and it wasn't until the very last day of shooting that episode that we were on the plane, and even in rehearsal he kind of kept it a bit under wraps what I was going to do, and he was off concentrating unlike some people, and he just, they said turn over, and I don't think any of us could keep it in. The emotion and the excitement and it was just jaw-dropping. He was phenomenal. And I think from that point onwards, we knew he was going to be a recurring character through our season. And so it was really exciting when he was on set. And also, we're all really good mates. So that always makes it a times 10.
Sasha's, I've mentioned this before, but when Sasha's like you said, Jodes, when he's rehearsing, he doesn't always do the same thing. So he tries different things out. So you never sort of know what you're going to get, which I think is really quite exciting when, we're working really long hours and I sort of do kind of similar things during the rehearsal. Whereas Sasha gave us something different every time to react to. He sort of was trying to find what works. And I think for me, that was really exciting to watch.
I think he did it because he didn't actually know it.
Oh, yeah. It was on. I was like, yeah, he's got loads of lines. You just wait till the last episode. Like the script supervisor is going to be all over him. It came in and went blah blah blah. And I was like, that's how you do it without going.
Yeah, great.
And the wonderful thing about Doctor Who, of course, is that these very gigantic conclusions can happen. I don't want to blow it for anybody who hasn't seen that finale, but I get the sense that we haven't seen the last of the Master because we never do. So the other big development that I was very excited about in season 12 was the second Doctor. And it was particularly exciting for me as a Black woman to see another Black woman playing the Doctor at long last, Jo Martin. And she was just so fabulous. And she returned at the end of the season. Any sense as to whether she's going to be coming back or, and what was it like to work with her?
I think, do you guys remember when we did the read through and for that episode and she got to say, because we all like say who we are and who we play. And for us, obviously it's however many episodes in. And she was like, I'm Jo. And I play the Doctor. And for her, and for both of us, I don't know, it was just this really extraordinary moment because we knew that this room was going to be the only room that knew about this for months and months. And we had to keep all that excitement locked in. And also, weirdly, when the season aired, we were so proud of ourselves for keeping the Master a secret that then it kind of, we forgot we had all the anxiety to wait for hoping that didn't get leaked as well. And the reaction of that episode going out and people discovering it within real time, I just think was phenomenal. And also the response to her, because she's amazing and she's such a wonderful human, but a really amazing actress as well.
I remember that moment when Jo said she was the Doctor and Sasha said he was the. I remember those very vividly and thinking, wow, this is going to be big.
All right, so first encounter with the Cybermen, Yaz and Graham, facing them down and really coming up with some ingenious solutions to escape them and finally to kind of fight their way through to victory. So what was that like?
The Cyber dudes were great.
Cyber dudes.
I watched. I'm of an age, Melanie, whereby I used to watch Doctor Who in the 60s. So for me, the days of black and white TV and William Hartnell, who first played the original Doctor, I used to watch that. So the Cybermen, an actual fact, and the Daleks of the day were just the most scary things on TV. So to actually be in an episode with Cybermen, I actually was thrilled. And Mandip and I did quite a bit. In actual fact, we did a lot of. What about that stunt day? That was amazing. Wasn't it?
Best day of his life. He loved it.
Oh,
he had his little deck chair right in the front row.
I absolutely loved that day. I just thought that was fantastic. I thought it was great fun. And Mandip, I never realised how quick Mandip was on her feet. She's very light on her feet, I have to say. I couldn't catch her.
Was he laughing at my running?
No, I'm saying you were quick.
Fast. Because I'd improved from the other series. Also, as a police officer, so I started to go, look, as a police officer, I'm going to have to get a bit of speed here.
You've worked on your hero, Rod.
Mans, when we had to leg it and then go through that corridor, that building.
Oh, yeah.
Turn that corner. You were really lively. I mean, crikey. So that was cool.
I mean, there were a lot of Cybermen after us.
That, strange enough, that episode was why I did Doctor Who. That episode with the stunts and the blowing up and the cyber dudes and the and the drones and everything going on. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought it was great. Excellent.
So Mandip and Jody, we've already heard from Brad that the Cybermen were his favorite villains. What were your favorite villains in the series?
It's the Master, because
why did I let it go? I didn't think you was going to say him.
I'm going to still say it anyway.
Go on.
You can copy me, I'll let you. Yeah, but I think it was just because the writing and a lot of the time, the length of scenes for me and Sasha were just brilliant. We would have 4 or 5 pages of kind of standoffs and towards the end, actually, without giving anything away, the Doctor isn't in a position to necessarily talk back. So there is so much of the power games and his trickery and rage. He's so but he's so quick to switch on you, and I found I found all that incredible. And also just playing the Doctor, it's all these classic villains, classic monsters. We then have our own relationship and our own experience, and we, yes, I'm going to give my answer. But like with, Patrick O'Kane, who played the Cyberman,
brilliant.
Like,
He was
amazing. Stuff like that is just exciting because it's recurring and a returning storyline for Whovians, but for us, it's ours because it's happened during our tenure.
He was brilliant. Patrick was fantastic. And Mans and I had to do a scene where we were locked in these sort of sarcophaguses. And is it sarcophaguses or sarcophagi? Anyway, so we were locked in these things, and it was great. It was great where he sort of come up to the door. And we were behind the doors, and we were apart from we were sort of nose to nose, apart from a piece of metal, and he could hear us breathing, and that was fab. Honestly, that was really scary. But to be inside that sort of coffin thing was amazing.
Well, they stole my answers. I was going to go with like the Cybermen, and then I was going to go with the Master. But actually, I think generally, like Jody touched upon it, to have, like, it's really good when you work with new villains that Chris has created, because like you started with them, so you sort of like create the history of them. But then when you get to meet like iconic characters that everyone loves, like for me, that sort of like cements our standing in the Doctor Who family, because even when they come on set like the Jadoon, I don't know if you guys were there, it was me and Tosin, but like there was a day when there was on set and like all the crew were just like, oh my, like they know who this massive rhino is.
So that kind of segues into my next question, which is the Doctor and Yaz and Graham have had such great adventures together, and I'm wondering what each of you thinks has been the highlight so far, not just in season or series 12, but just in your total time together. What have been the real highlights for each of you? And what does this series mean to each of you personally?
I remember our time abroad when we were filming in South Africa, and we were filming in Spain and also Bulgaria. It was like having your favorite people around you and spending time with them whilst also sort of working. I mean, when we originally went to South Africa, it was amazing. It really was, and having fun on set and making mini movies. That's what it was all about for me.
What you've seen here, this little snippet that you've had today, that for me is what it's been like the whole time. Like you move away from family and friends, you move away to Cardiff, but actually it could be a scary like proposition, and it's not, because we have such a good time. Like we travel with the most amazing, these guys, the crew are like friends to me. You're doing like working on massive, amazing sets, touching on amazing like subjects and issues, and working with really great like guest leads. But what you've seen today, this energy and how much we have a laugh is really is just a snippet of what we've done for the last 2 years.
I think this is it. It's such an emotional thing, and I think for us, we're in this what feels like for the world a rug pull in the current climate, but also when you are in between seasons and you're waiting to all come back together. This is the longest those guys haven't seen each other. And so it does really make you incredibly nostalgic and incredibly grateful the fact that we have this extraordinary thing to go back to. But that it surprises you probably daily what are the things you miss. Like you miss the banter that we will always say, but I miss the emotional roller coaster of the whole thing, with when you've shot something and then when you see it on screen and with the music and, you know, all the post-production on it, and like particularly the, you know, Rosa Parks episode, and Rise Up plays at the end, and we had no idea that was going to play, and just the kind of, for every time you think you're in this thing, you think you know what you're in, and then it ends up being elevated on a level you can't imagine. And with that, everything these guys said, those episodes were shot with a group of people that you love.
Speaking of being together, one of the things that is really not so great about 2020 is we can't be together right now at New York Comic Con, but fortunately we were able to take some fan questions. So you ready to answer some questions from some passionate Whovians? This question is from Mandip, and it's from Riley. Riley wants to know what it was like being in the Cybermen suit. Did the other cast members know it was coming before you shot the scene?
When I read about it in the script, I was really excited. And then I tried it on with Ray, who's in costume. And I was like, we have to get pictures of me in this, like, because I'll just forget when we're on set, or I'll just be too, like, not as confident and stuff. But actually, it was really exciting to know I thought I was going to be in the full outfit. But they made like a version that I could actually move in, because they're really big they're really big and impressive. Whereas this one actually was way more flexible. But I thought I actually made a really good Cyberman.
All right, this question is for Jody from Rosie. How did you react when you found out Ruth was actually the doctor? And what was it like working with Joe and having scenes with two doctors in one scene?
I found it completely exhilarating. And what was wonderful about my doctor's reaction in it was that it could sum up how the audience felt. Shocked, angry at a point, in the sense of, like, there's a moment where you're like, what is going on? And I know from friends that texted me, they were like, I need answers now. There's like a real need for more. And I felt like the whole range that my doctor went through in that. And I think, you know, Doctor Who continually pushes boundaries and shows us that what we think we know, it could be a world away from the truth. And that, to be the actor in that, is as exciting as being someone sat on the couch going, I'm sorry, what? And the pulling back of the soil to reveal, you know, the TARDIS was just such a brilliant scene to shoot.
Question for Mandip from Anna. We've seen that in the past that Yaz has struggled with mental health, which really strikes home for me and makes me feel seen. Do you draw from your own experiences? And it's so great to see representation of mental health struggles in television.
Yeah, I mean, I think Doctor Who has always been amazing at touching on loads of issues and subjects. So it weren't no surprise when this came up. Like Chris had phoned me and said, we're gonna delve into Yaz's backstory, and it's gonna be we're gonna look at mental health issues. So obviously for an actor, for me, that's I don't want to use the word exciting, but it just opens you up to loads of things. You have to think about a lot of things. And we actually worked with Mind Charity. So I didn't. So the question was, did I draw on personal experiences? I didn't. It's just not the way I work as an actor. But I did work closely with Mind Charity, and we were able to ask lots of questions, and how would people react in certain situations, and maybe why Yaz hadn't mentioned it running up to this, and why she'd gone to her sister and not her mum, because she's obviously very close to her mum and stuff like that. But for me, it was, I'm really happy that I got to play that part, and it's part of Yaz's journey now. So it will affect basically her choices in the future.
All right, question for all of you from Laura, fan username Laura Shannon. What's your most favorite part about meeting Whovians?
Can I say? Do you know what happens? Do you know what happens to me? It's brilliant. I get things made. People make
that?
things to me. It's a friendship bracelet. And also I got given a badge as well, a little pin. You guys call them a pin, don't you? I love stuff like that. I love how creative they are. And I love also that sometimes you can be in an environment where you really don't think there's necessarily a Whovian present. And it'll blow your mind that in every walk of life there's Whovians, and I love that. I love it, the unexpectedness of it, and the unexpected warmth, and also the uniting of it. It feels like you could have met someone for 10 seconds, but we have this kind of like forever connection, because what the show means to them, what it means to us, and the fact that this is a moment in time, and what that means as the person in the show meeting someone and getting the response back that is like, oh, cool, you love it.
Which happened to us, isn't it, Jodie? We were eating food, and this guy was just on his phone, and he had a phone case that was the TARDIS, and we were like, he hasn't lifted his head up, like he has no idea. And then just the reaction of us just being there, like, would be like me just randomly bumping into Beyonce. Like, honestly, that was his reaction, wasn't it? I was so excited for him. Like, how did he just gone to eat and now he's seeing the doctor?
Reaction was a lot cooler than what you would do. You would be so embarrassed.
Yeah. But I was excited for him, because what is the likelihood of you just lifting your head up? I mean, you've got a phone case, you obviously care about the show, and then in front of you is the doctor. I mean, I'd like to say you recognise me, but that just never happens, does it, Jodie? So I love that she gets gifts and stuff like that, but no, they don't have any idea who I am. And so I usually take the picture from, so that's nice.
You're very good at it, babe.
So there's a message to Whovians: bring gifts for our stars. You can make more than one friendship bracelet, people. Come on now. Everybody's working hard here. What about you, Brad?
You know, the amount of people that have said you're just like a brother or my sister of our age, or you're like my uncle Terry, or, you know, that for me is lovely. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. That part of meeting all those the Whovians. That's what I've loved. And you know, then the things they'll say. Do you remember William Hartnell when he first met the? And I do remember it, but way back in the '60s. So it's just, for me, it's like a bit of nostalgia. Do you know what I mean?
So we are really, really happy to confirm that the three of you, alongside with Toast and Cole, will be returning into BBC America's highly anticipated Doctor Who festive special, Revolution of the Daleks. And that's going to be premiering this holiday season. So it is complete and ready to go. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about what is it about? I'm going to assume it's about a revolution involving Daleks. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more.
Without giving any spoilers, where we leave the Doctor is in the final episode of season 12. This explores, in a way, for one of the first times when the Doctor is away from the gang, and from the Doctor's point of view, has no idea about what's going on Earth. And so we're in a position where I'm on a roll. We're in a position where the Doctor is in this prison, and the team and the gang are together facing.
Jode, we don't know that. We don't. We are completely as characters. We didn't know that.
What Brad's saying is, as characters, we're back in Sheffield, not knowing where she's gone. Yeah, trying to get on with our own lives. Yaz is struggling a little bit. We then do come across a plot that involves a Dalek, and we go, okay, she's taught us lots of things, but
that's what I meant.
How are we gonna fight a Dalek without a Doctor?
That's exactly what I was going for. I just was waffling.
How do we sort of now, as a three, save the mankind, womankind, everywhere? It's for us. It's like talk about being thrown in the deep end. That's exactly what happens. And you know, she knows her way around the universe. It's as simple as that.
This is a good time for us to give a little glimpse of what's to come. So we have 2 first look photos. So let's look at the first one.
I would say from the maybe clues in the photograph that I may have been there for a while.
Well, here's a question I have for you. Since the Doctor has many reincarnations, what does it mean that the Doctor has a life sentence in a maximum security prison?
We may discover that.
Or
maybe we won't.
Or maybe not. Or maybe not. Just a question. All right, so here's a second photo.
So yeah, basically, we don't know where the Doctor's gone. We don't know if we're now in Sheffield forever and our journey with the Doctor is over. So, like, I can speak for Yaz. She's finding it very difficult. Probably not being able to say goodbye as well, and not sure if and when she'll see the Doctor, and if she was just thrown back into a normal life without having a say. So she's struggling with the idea of not being on the TARDIS anymore. But the picture that you see is Ryan, Graham, and Yaz are sat around this table trying to figure out. Basically, they've come across a plot that involves a Dalek. We obviously know that's
from way, way, way back. By the way,
yes, yes.
What you'll find happens next is extraordinary. Seriously, the viewers, the Whovians and the lovers of the show, what happens next is extraordinary. It's fantastic. And it was one of my favourite scenes to film.
There's no premiere date yet for Revolution of the Daleks, but we can confirm today it will air this holiday season. We're also happy to confirm that BBC America's upcoming holiday programming schedule will once again include the annual tradition of a week-long Doctor Who marathon running from Christmas Day to New Year's Day. This week, BBC America is airing the animated special Doctor Who, the Faceless One, starring Patrick Troughton as the Doctor. Find out more at bbcamerica.com, and Doctor Who continues to premiere exclusively on BBC America with past seasons available to stream exclusively on HBO Max. And finally, Chris Chibnall told Doctor Who magazine in May that you plan to go back into production before the end of the year. So is this true? Any way that you plan to be back into the TARDIS and filming in the next couple of weeks?
We're certainly in prep. So what we're all hoping for is for us to be filming before the close of 2020.
Listen, this is going to be an unbelievable series, an unbelievable year of Titanic proportions.
Ooh. Well, on that note, this has been such a ride and a lot of fun. Jody Whittaker, Brad Walsh, Mandip Gill, thank you so, so much for this wonderful time. And I look forward to seeing the Doctor Who special this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.